Yeah, you're right. It is a little bit more. Oh, here we go, boys. Hell yeah. Ace power. Alright, Spaniard Colosseum 2v2. We've got the Ace and Verhuver versus the ANT boys, Poseidon and Warlock. On Treasure Island. Y'all know that's my favorite map. So here we go. Treasure Island. Okay, so we've got Ace as the Norse, Blue Norse, and we've got Verhuver as the Red Egyptians. They're spawning in the southeastern side of the map, or excuse me, southwestern side of the map. In the northeastern side of the map, we've got Purple Persians of Warlock and the Yellow Persians of Poseidon. So, both Poseidon and Warlock going Persians, ANT clan going full Arab. Excuse me, Persians aren't Arab, I guess. Going full Middle East. PF2K would be proud as a Persian himself. Ace, of course, going for the Norse, you know, going for that cheap, imbalanced raider, but whatever. What can you say? All right, Verhuver getting racks down. Looks like he's going to be getting his racks a little bit after Warlock and a little bit after Poseidon. Ace is going to be the last to get his racks up. No player is going for a fast dock, so let's see how this early aggression turns out. Otherwise, a fairly standard opening. Let's take a look at some stats. These Egyptian spearmen are not going to be quite as good as the Persian Sparbara. 160 health, 10 DPS, compared to 240 health and 9 DPS. So 1 DPS less on the Sparbara, but much beefier. However, these Norse spearmen are going to be better. These Norse spearmen are going to be fairly beefy and do a decent amount of DPS. 260 health and 10 DPS. So Ace is going to have to pull most of the DPS weight here in these, or I'm sorry, most of the early aggression weight, I should say. Poseidon scouting out his opponent, rallying his Sparbara down here right to the northern part of the Ace's base here. So it looks like Poseidon's looking for some trouble. I don't know if he's going to go with his cheeky... rush like he did against me, but we'll see, I guess. And guys, in the future, I'm kind of looking at my display right now and seeing that the chat's kind of, especially with this 2v2, with these kind of going well into the, maybe something like that would be better. These boxes are going well into the screen, so I recognize that it would be ideal if there was more. That's not going to work. Yeah, that looks dumb. More space on the screen, so I'll probably, for the future, I'll probably move my chat or hide my chat. Warlock is going to get this storehouse, so that's a good pickup there from him. Poseidon has not gotten really anything done. The Ace may consider going to assist his ally here. Verhuver trying to focus down the Sparbara. Doing a decent job of it thus far. But Verhuver is not going to fall back a little bit. Poseidon still streaming in Sparbara, but he's going to lose a couple for his troubles there. Ace is headed to H2. Not Verhuver. Verhuver not yet. Both Persian players are also headed to H2. Poseidon's going to be the first to H2. The Ace will pop next, and then Warlock and Verhuver is probably going to throw down a temple as soon as he's got the wood. Nice push here from the Ace, but he is going to be forced back. Warlock's coming in to assist his teammates, so Ace drops a few spearmen there. I don't know if it was quite worth it, but Poseidon is very heavily invested in these Sparabara at this point. And it looks like Poseidon is now got some ideas to go back on the offensive, so he is headed into the Ace's base. Verhuver finally throwing down his Temple of Ra. He's got several villagers on that, so I can try to catch up a little bit here. The Ace is going to need to react to this pretty quickly. In comes Poseidon. He is going to surround these villagers and drop at least one, and is going to get that storehouse. So nice pickup there from Poseidon. And he and Warlock are going to be first on the water as well. So they are behind in score, but I don't think for too much longer. They are going to have an economic advantage with these docks down. Going to be able to get out those fishing boats. And Poseidon did scout the coastline and see that neither Verhuver nor the Ace have a dock yet. So it's like, excuse me, looks like Verhuver and the Ace are going to need to commit to this land play here. Ace still trying to push into Poseidon's base here. He's going to force some villagers off these hunts, but this storehouse is going, or the aid tent, I should say, is going to prevent Poseidon from losing any villagers there. And it looks like Ace may lose a spearman. We've got their scouts strategically placed here so they can see any units streaming across, or Verhuver does, but Poseidon's got his scout down here to keep looking for those docks. So pretty much as long as they don't scout a dock, they're going to continue to just build fishing ships and not worry about any triremes, or galleys I should say, for the Persians. Persians have a galley as opposed to a trireme. It's a little bit cheaper, a little bit weaker, but a little bit cheaper. There we go. Raiders onto the field now. Throwing axemen coming onto the field. Verhuver leaning heavily into these axemen. These axemen are going to be able to deal pretty well with the Sparabara. No second town center yet for Warlock. That's interesting. And no second town center yet for Poseidon either. So these southern players are going to have an economic advantage, and they will probably parlay that into a very strong H2 presence. Poseidon and Warlock. Oh no, excuse me. Poseidon does have a second town center. My bad. But here comes the second town center finally for Warlock. Ace is going to see this, but he does not have the numbers to do anything with it. These axemen are going to finally and slowly win the day. Wolf is going to add in, or these wolves are going to add insult to injury. Ace is going to move out with a decent sized force here. He is throwing in some war dogs, so that's a nice pickup. Sparabara of Poseidon are going to once again destroy this storehouse. They are now going to be caught by these spearmen, dogs, and throwing axemen. Dogs and spears are going to provide some nice snare, while the throwing axemen are going to provide the DPS. But they don't get those two Sparabara, interestingly enough. Looks like Ace may have accidentally changed his focus to the scout. Who's that scout going to go down from Verhuver? I'm not sure yet. Verhuver now getting some camels onto the field, as well as leaning more into those axemen. So nice H2 army composition here for the Egyptians. Meanwhile, Ace also has a nice composition here with War Dogs and Throwing Axemen and Raiders. These Raiders are going to be able to deal a good multiplier against these Bowmen. And Bowmen are indeed onto the field now. So the Ace, see how he does here. These Bowmen are dealing out quite a bit of DPS, so this fight is a little bit more difficult for Ace than anticipated. He's also got to deal with this defensive town center fire, and Warlock is coming in to assist his teammate here. Verhuver coming across the map as well is going to get some camels into Warlock's base. He's going to fall back at the side of these Sparabara. Now the combined forces of Verhuver and the Ace are knocking on the door of Poseidon. What shall come of it, we will see. Spar is too tanky. Sparbar are too tanky indeed. Or are very tanky indeed, I should say. Not too tanky necessarily. Too tanky for the fight, perhaps. More camels coming in. Going to try to get this storehouse. Will most likely fall back. At the side of those units from Warlock. In goes the Ace and Verhuver. I'm going to push in, see what damage they can get done here. More Raiders onto the field for the Ace. Try to push onto this archery range here. Warlock is going to move across the map once again to try to aid his teammate. See if these camel riders are going to move in to assist the battle. Ace does get that archery range, so nice pickup there from the southeastern team, the red and blue team. There'll be a lot to deal with here. These axemen are going to make short work of the Sparabara, but these bowmen are going to rain hellfire down upon these infantry units. Now, throwing axemen also, interestingly enough, have a bonus against range. Very nice multiplier against infantry. Camels are into the fray now, so these camels are going to be able to deal a lot of damage against these bowmen. Is it enough? Poseidon has the defender's advantage here. Town centers are firing down upon these units, and these bowmen still, and these nice choke points here, are able to deal a lot of damage. Verhuver trying to get on top of the bowmen, but it may not be enough. These camels are being whittled away. The Ace has no more units onto the field, and the defense does hold for our northern team, but the Ace is gathering slowly once again. Units at the doorstep of Poseidon. More units coming in for Verhuver as well. Will Poseidon and Warlock go on the offensive, or will they be content to stay defensive? Warlock is now hitting age 3, so that's going to be a great advantage for him. He's going to be able to get out some Immortals. Immortals will do very well against the throwing axemen, as well as the regular axemen over Verhuver. Huge win for A&T. Indeed. First H3. Yeah, Poseidon is popping H3 as well. The Ace has as well. Let's see about Verhuver. Is he building that temple of... what you call it? Not yet, it looks like. He's getting some markets up. Great wall going down for the Ace. Here comes some Asabara, so this is going to be difficult for the Ace to deal with. He's going to have to throw in some spearmen. This wall is not going to be up in time. The galley as well. He's going to be able to deny this coastline wall, so that's very nice. It looks like the Ace is keen to get a guard tower down, and he's going to see if he can get a dog down maybe under the auspices of that guard tower, but these Asabara are going to come in. This tower is going to go up, but these Asabara are going to get several villagers, so it's going to be a nice pickup there for Poseidon. What you guys think in chat what the H3 play for the Persians is going to be against the Norse and the Egyptians. Perhaps we'll see some mounted archers as well in preparation for elephants. Perhaps we'll see immortals. We'll see. Yeah, towers are very weak indeed, especially those H2 towers. Shouldn't they make market when they have no water? Yeah, they have gotten the markets down now, so they're going to be able to get some trading in here. Verhuver's got some camels positioned here to try to intercept any more incoming Asabara. Very forward town center for Poseidon there, so very ballsy play from him. We'll see if it pays off for him. These throwing axemen are going to move out just perhaps inopportune or opportune time. All those war dogs, all those poor dogs go down in one fell swoop. These throwing axemen are going to be able to deal some DPS, but not much. Horsemen onto the field now for the ace. Still with the axemen for Verhuver. Again, what does Verhuver transition to? He is now in the Silver Age. What will Verhuver choose to transition to? Perhaps chariot archers? Warlock is now moving out as well. These camels are going to try to get onto these bowmen, but spearmen champion in front here for Warlock. So very nice composition there from Warlock. Another engagement between our blue and yellow player. These camels are desperately trying to get onto these bowmen. Axemen are now getting onto the spearmen, so nice micro there from Verhuver. Will it pay off? We'll see. Ace is trying to come in to assist his teammate, but Poseidon coming in with the double sandwich here. These bowmen are going to deal so much DPS on these throwing axemen. It looks like the A&T boys may have this in the bag. At least this engagement. Huge bowman ball here for Warlock as well. And now, no camels for Verhuver. No way to deal with these bowmen. Again, perhaps I'd like to see Verhuver transition to some elephants and or chariot archers to deal with these bowman balls, because this is going to deal a significant amount of damage. Warlock pulled off a little bit. Poseidon is keen to push in and deal perhaps what could be the killing blow. He's now knocking at the doorstep of the ace. The ace trying to position his units appropriately. He's getting skirmishers and bowmen on the field. The Norse bowmen and skirmishers are now seen in this game. Very interesting. Where are the OP Raiders at? The level can play good with Mesa, but Norse. Norse is a very strong civilization in my opinion. Some camels coming out here for Verhuver, so Verhuver going to try to get the balance back in his team's favor by getting out some camels to do some raiding. He's going to be able to deny most of the villagers on that wall. So nice there from Verhuver, but this bowman ball from Poseidon is just too much for the ace to handle at this point. He's trying to get out bowman of his own, but against these Persian bowman champion, it's not going to be enough. He needs to get out maybe some raiders, especially some one population raiders. Getting out Harjar now, so these Harjar are going to have some nice pierce armor. The ace can survive until H3 or H4. He could perhaps get some Ufodens on the field. Ufodens. And the Ufodens are very fast, very good against ranged. But as it stands, these bowman balls are just so huge. 50 for Warlock. Poseidon trying to get his numbers back. Getting some Asabar into the fray here. The ace. Very varied army. A very varied army. He's got horsemen, he's got raiders, he's got bowmen, he's got skirmishers. Nice flank there from Verhuver though. These spearmen are gonna, or I'm sorry, these camels are gonna be able to get onto these bowmen. Warlock is gonna try to jostle for position here. He's got some spearmen in front here. They are going to die to these bowmen, or excuse me, these axemen. And the bowmen of Poseidon are dying as well, so with defender's advantage, it appears that our southern team has turned the tide, at least for this engagement. Chariot archers onto the field now for Verhuver. This is going to give him great DPS and great mobility. And now suddenly the A&T boys are on the defensive. They are moving back towards their own bases, going to regroup. Rams onto the field for Poseidon though, so if he's got enough units to protect these Rams, that could be huge for the A&T squad. Warlock choosing to get out some Immortals. So nice choice here from Warlock. I like that choice of Immortals. And Poseidon going heavy in the Spearmen and Battering Rams. He needs to get these Battering Rams away from this engagement though. If the Ace reaction is fast enough, I may be able to get onto these Rams and deal some significant damage. As it stands, big engagement here in the middle. Nice flank there from the Camels coming onto the Bowmen and Immortals, so this might be enough for Verhuver to turn the tide in his favor in that engagement. Still chipping away here. Ace versus Poseidon. Ace is going to get the better of Ace in that. Ace is going to get the better of Poseidon in that engagement. Verhuver trying to push his luck here, push into the base of Warlock. May be able to get this fort. Yeah, he is going to deny this fort. Might be able to start dealing some economic damage to his opponent. Ace also moving in, going to be able to get some huge shots on these villagers for Poseidon. Poseidon is most likely going to lose all of those villagers. Where are the Rams though? Where did those Rams go? Where did the Rams go? Did he lose the Rams? Did he move them all the way back? I'm not sure. Verhuver, again, trying to deal some significant damage, economically speaking, to these players. He is smack dab in the middle of Warlock's base, which also happens to be smack dab in the middle of the caravan line. So if Verhuver's able to pick off some caravans, that could be huge. Fort down here for Poseidon. The Ace is in, but only with bowmen, so they are going to dive quite quickly into that fort. He needs to reinforce with some bulkier units. He is sending in some raiders. With these Asabara champion are going to be able to intercept a majority of these reinforcements. And here are the Rams. I had lost track of the Rams, but here are the Rams. This could spell the beginning of the end for the Ace. He has lost a significant portion of his base here to these Rams with no real answer. He needs to get some raiders or horsemen onto the field so he can try to deal with these Rams. Poseidon, meanwhile, needs to try to get something significant done with these Rams. He is going for the town center. Going for a house here with these Rams. Will he be able to get this town center? Who knows? The defense holding strong here for Warlock and Poseidon in the north. They are going to push Verhuver back, and the Ace has virtually got no more reinforcements there to assist in that battle. And down goes the town center for the Ace. This could be critical for the Ace. Lose archer range as well. So very nice pickup there for Poseidon, getting a town center, getting an archery range, getting a house, a couple other things. So the Ace at this point is down to 150 population maximum. He's only at 130 population total. Meanwhile, Warlock headed back towards maximum. Poseidon headed towards 180 maximum. Verhuver also trying to get back to maximum. Throwing in some chariot archers, some more axemen, champion. Rallying across the map here. I wanted to try to establish a presence on the opposite side of this wall. The Ace, very significantly behind at this point. He's got to catch up. Come back indeed. He needs transport ship and 8 Rams. Ace is done. He might not be done yet, but it is looking quite critical. Some nice siege towers on the field for Verhuver, but these siege towers are going to run in, unfortunately, to pretty much the entire army of both Poseidon and Warlock. Warlock once again has a significant amount of bowmen, close to 60 bowmen. These camels are trying to get under the bowmen, but these Asbar are coming in, providing some nice support, as well as these 50 or so bowmen for Poseidon. So these bowmen balls are just absolutely huge, and this, again, could be the beginning of the end. Do Verhuver and the Ace have an answer to this? I don't know that they do, at least in this moment. It is a lot of bows indeed. Egyptian will carry this game. We'll see. We'll see if Verhuver can indeed carry this game. Siege Tower's trying to get these pesky walls out of their face. Ace has built some skirmishers and has tasked those skirmishers to attack a fully upgraded wall. Interesting choice there from the Ace. A&T Club is headed into the base of Ace and Verhuver, slowly but surely. They're going to take down these Egyptian buildings here. The siege tower is trying to poke another hole in this wall on the left here. Ace still working on a hole here. Will it be enough, and will it be soon enough? He needs to get through so that he can flank these bowmen with some raiders. Also get on this Palantonin at this point. This Palantonin is going to make short work of that siege tower. Verhuver desperately looking for an answer here. So far has none. Ace is going to come in with some ranged units, some raiders, but the sheer count, the sheer bowman ball count of Poseidon and Warlock is just going to be too much for the Ace's units to handle. He's not going to be able to get anything for his troubles. Down goes the siege tower. Now the A&T Club is positioned quite nicely to make a push into the bases of Verhuver and the Ace. Yeah, in my opinion, Demonic, I think Norse have quite good units in H2, especially Raiders. Hey Erie, welcome to Clown Fiest. Troller, you know you enjoy a good Clown Fest every now and then. I'd cast a non-Clown Fest if you and your boys wouldn't be willing to play a game, but Erie, thanks for hopping in the stream. Hamus to Usagi with the Cap of Pride. Gambini is correct. These guys are pretty heavy hitters. It looks like the A&T clan will perhaps be pulling away with this one. Verhuver is an H4. He does not have his 4th town center up yet. Meanwhile, Poseidon is an H4 with his 4th town center up and is now at 200 maximum population. So Poseidon putting on an absolute clinic at this point, getting some armory upgrades as well as a market upgrade. Poseidon not too far behind, coming to H4. The Ace, however, is lagging a little bit behind the other players and is ultimately going to take quite some time before he's an H4, and he could really use being an H4 at this point. He needs some Ulfs against these bowmen. Anti-ranged of the Ulfaldens would do quite well against these bowmen, but he just does not have the resources to get to H4. He is lagging significantly behind, trying to stream in units, but these units are slowly dying to these bowmen. Bowman count is dwindling a little bit for these players. Verhuver is doing his absolute best to keep his team in this game. These chariot archers are doing nice DPS against these bowmen, and suddenly these chariot archers, a couple camels, they turn the tide. Bowmen coming in for the Ace as well. Going to be able to help out raiders and horsemen. Suddenly, A&T clan are forced to retreat, and suddenly the Ace is ahead in the score. Don't know how. At this point, it still could be anybody's game. Yeah, the choice to go for skirmishers is a little questionable. He's now transitioned to bowman, but no bowman champion yet. Axemen are an interesting choice at this point. Perhaps to deal with some immortals, maybe. But absolutely insane back and forth currently. And the Ace is trying to get some raiders into Poseidon's base, try to deal some economic damage onto these caravans. Poseidon is going to respond with some Asabar champion. Primary forces of both Poseidon and Warlock are holding this hole in the wall as best as possible. Verhuver rallying his troops into this rally point here. Choke point here, I should say. The Ace, where's his army? He's almost maxed 180, but I'm not sure where his army is. He's got several raiders, or had several raiders, in the base of A&T clan, but it looks like most of them have at this point died. Some camels coming in to try to get some raiding done here for Verhuver. Looks like Warlock's not too concerned about these camels. He's not really responding. Both Warlock and Poseidon are essentially maxed out in terms of population at this point. Palantonans onto the field once again for Poseidon. Going to be able to deal some nice splash damage. Verhuver needs to get his army into the battle at this point. He needs to get his army into the action. Poseidon is going to try to shore up the holes in these walls. However, another hole is punched in the wall. But Verhuver really desperately needs to help out his teammate. His teammate's going to send in some raiders again to try to deal some economic damage. But the remainder of his army is going to be decimated. Once again, anybody's game. Verhuver does have some chariot archers, but I am surprised that we're not seeing elephants quite yet. At least a couple elephants to tank that front line. The Ace needs to rebuild his army and swiftly, otherwise the A&T clan will be able to get a massive push. A lot of immortals, a lot of bowmen, a couple of Palantonans. This could be a nice push here from the A&T clan. The Ace did his best to get some significant damage done there, but does not appear to have been enough. Big push coming in from the A&T clan. Cataphract champions are now on the field as well, so insane play here thus far. This Palantonan will get destroyed, so Poseidon has lost both of his Palantonans. But this engagement appears to be going in their favor thus far. These immortals are so strong they're able to deal with these chariot archers decently well, but again, the chariot archers are hanging tough. Slingers onto the field, Slinger champion onto the field now for Verhuver, so interesting choice there, especially with his bank of resources. I think we'd see some war elephants or some elephant archers. How long before Spaniard nods off? I don't know, man. I'm pretty tired. I need to eat. I've been fasting today, so I need to get some food. I'm also trying to not yell as much per request of the Ace. And plus, my eyes are naturally kind of squinty. Even more so when I'm tired. Verhuver trying to get some more chariot archers into the mix here, but this bowman ball archer, or bowman and immortal count here for the A&T clan is quite powerful. They are going to try to make a big push into the base of the Ace here. The Ace is significantly behind in population. 112 villagers though, so it does have a nice economy behind this, but Poseidon and Warlock perhaps have the optimal number of villagers. 190, so 100 for Warlock, 90 for Poseidon. Ace is perhaps a little bit too heavy on the villagers at this point. I consider at least dropping 10 of those villagers or so. Again, this ranged DPS for the ANT clan is very strong. Ace trying to rebuild the wall right in front of the face of Poseidon and Warlock. I don't think it's going to work out for him. Poseidon is going to push a little bit into Ace's base here. Ace is in age 4 now. So we might see some berserkers, we might see some Poseidons. Once again, the defense of Verhuver and the Ace has held. So now, suddenly, back and forth we go. Neck and neck. Verhuver only needed catapults. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice for him to get some siege onto the field. He does have some siege workshops, but nothing coming from them thus far. Naturally squinty eyes, eh? Yes, naturally squinty eyes indeed. Again, it's made worse when I'm tired, but eyes are pretty squinty. Back and forth we go here. Poseidon streaming units in, as is Warlock, trying to stream in some Immortal champions here. Sabar champion, as well as a few Cataphract champion here and there. But Horsemen are on the field now for the Ace. The Ace may consider trying to get, especially with his bank of gold, he may consider Horseman champion. And indeed, he is queued up, has queued up Horseman champion at this point. We're going to try to flank in here. And our southern team turn the tide of the battle once again. Poseidon and Warlock trying to defend against this aggression. Ace is moving back for some reason. I guess he's trying to deal with these Asabara. We're going to try to move into Ace's base to deal some economic damage. And here we go again. Poseidon and Warlock have fended off the counterattack of Verhuver and the Ace, so back and forth we go. Catapults finally onto the field for Verhuver. He is going to lose this one because he did not protect it, so he would do well to protect his catapult here. He does have a fort onto the field now as well, so we might start seeing some elephants. He needs to protect those catapults. Those catapults are going to give him some great splash damage against these range units of the ANT clan. Ace, I don't know exactly where his army is. He is almost maxed out. He is down to now 81 villagers, so perhaps a little bit more optimal in terms of villager count. He does have a dock, but he never really made anything of it. A few raiders coming in here for Poseidon. And once again, we continue with this stalemate in the middle. So far, the ANT clan has broken the stalemate for a moment, but with this catapult chariot archer composition for Verhuver, perhaps not for long. Someone has to do something to break this stalemate. A significant amount of Asabara now in the base of the Ace. This could perhaps be it. This could be what breaks this stalemate. He is going for the housing strategy. It's absolutely critical here. And thus far, Ace does not have any answer. He's streaming in some units, but he's not dealing with those Asabara. And his houses are going down one by one. And all of a sudden, he's down to 150 population cap. This is absolutely critical. Verhuver trying to send in some camels, but this could be it, folks. This could be the straw that broke the camel's back. These catapults are trying to hold the line, and they are indeed holding the line decently well. But these Asabara for Poseidon, nice play there from Poseidon to to go for the houses. Now Ace is down to 140 population. And no houses in sight yet. He needs to rebuild those houses. Rebuilding markets. He lost his markets as well, but he needs to rebuild the houses. Where are they? Be the beginning of the end. Warlock is now squarely at the front door of Verhuver, slowly chipping away at these military production facilities. Meanwhile, Verhuver bringing in some camels. More catapults on the way as well, but reinforcements headed into the fray for the A&T clan. Again, Poseidon just absolutely decimated the population of the Ace. The Ace is finally backed up to 170. But meanwhile, A&T clan holding strong at 190. And slowly chipping away at the front door of Verhuver. Who will break? Who will give? What will give first? Will the Ace and Verhuver defense finally crumble? Will the A&T offensive finally break through? Additional units coming in here for Poseidon. Poseidon is trying to remax his population. Bring in some battering rams, so this could be big as well, and it appears like it may finally be GG. Perhaps, unless a miracle can be pulled off by Verhuver and the Ace. Poseidon, max population. Warlock, max population. Rams coming in, gonna come straight for this town center if I had to guess. Again, A&T clan holding this middle point here in the bases of Verhuver and the Ace. They essentially split the bases in two. Nice strategic move there. A lot of chaotic fighting going on here in the base of Verhuver and the Ace, trying to defend their market line here. It's going to be critical that they defend the market line. Rams coming in here against Verhuver. Rams coming in against the Ace, and it appears that the back is finally broken. However, the Ace is at 194 population and dropping fast, though. A town center did go down, so he is now capped at 180 population, so he is going to be capped here. He's got raiders coming onto the field, but it may be too little too late. More Alcibar coming in for Poseidon. Warlock sending through some Alcibar, looking for trouble in the base of the Ace. Absolutely insane. Once again, the Ace down to 150 population, has lost yet another town center. Did not respond to these battering rams soon enough. Is now down to 2 town centers, 150 population, absolutely capped, low resources, specifically wood, somewhat low on gold. Verhuver has a decent bank, but he's just slowly losing this engagement here. Could perhaps be the beginning of the end, or rather the end of the end. Beginning of the end I already mentioned earlier. Another catapult on the field. Is it enough? These immortals are very strong. These Alcibar are all over the map. Come on, give me the tooltip. 12.7 to 12.7 in terms of speed. So Alcibar and camels are pretty even. Ace trying to make one desperate last attempt to push out of his base here. He's not even at 150 population. Verhuver also struggling to get back to 200. Meanwhile, the A&T clan has maintained the 200 population, at least in queue. Trying to stream their units across there. Maybe well served to regroup. Warlock is falling back a little bit. Someone needs to break the stalemate. More Alcibar damage coming onto the Ace's base. Caravans going down. And yeah, it's going to be very tough at this point for the Ace to come back from this. 115 population. 170 for Verhuver to the near max for Warlock. 185 or so for Poseidon. Elephant onto the field finally. Warlock falling back a little bit for positioning. Poseidon stringing units across, trying to poke another hole into this wall. More Asabar coming in to cause trouble. TheAce, the more units he leaves at home, the more of these horsemen he leaves at home to deal with these raids, the worse off they'll be in these engagements. Hercules did make a good point that TheAce should probably sell some food at this point. He's very low on gold. And yeah, he lost his gold, and that essentially was the end. Lost his gold, had no markets. Poseidon was able to push in, get the markets, and ultimately that spelled doom for TheAce. And then Verhuver followed. He knows that he would not be able to win a 1v2. So, GG, well played. Very back and forth. Somewhat even in terms of villagers. Military. Ultimately, Warlock outgathered everyone else by a fairly significant margin. TheAce and Verhuver were pretty on par with Poseidon in terms of techs, but Warlock did out-tech everyone else. TheAce complaining about no walls from the Egyptians, but I don't know that it would have helped. So, again, back and forth, but ultimately Poseidon and Warlock had the better economy. They had the better technologies, they had the better unit compositions, and they had positioning on the map, and ultimately were able to gain victory. So, GG. There you have it. The A&T clan takes the 2v2 show match versus TheAce and Verhuver. Well played, well fought, but ultimately the A&T clan takes it. So GG to the A&T clan.